The guy in the fitting bay holds the club like it's a holy relic. The words hit you soft and sure. The stock shaft is okay, but this one, this is what the tour guys play. He points to the price tag. $200 more. Just $200.
I got the good shaft.
In a week, you'll tell your friend, I got the good shaft. But here's the reality. That stock shaft cost the manufacturer $35. The Upcharge shaft cost them $48. You just paid an extra $200 for $13 of material cost difference. Mattress firm markups are lower than this. The official story wraps itself in performance. Graphite shafts are lighter, more stable, higher ball speed, less dispersion. Every fitting guide you have ever read says the same thing. Invest in your shaft, not your head. The PGA of America's own education materials teach that the shaft is the engine of the club. A better shaft, the story goes, saves strokes more reliably than a better driver head. So, you nod, you swipe the card, you walk out with a $600 driver that cost the store $280 to build, and you feel smart. Let that number sit for a second. If the difference between stock and premium is less than a yard, then what exactly are we paying for? That's the question this channel exists to answer. One hidden fee at a time. Subscribe so you don't just get the next story from the fitting bay, you get the real cost of every line item on the receipt. Drop a comment with the word 13 if, like me, you're still stuck on that $13 difference in raw materials. Let me know you see the math too. MyGolfSpy, the independent equipment testing lab that accepts no manufacturer money, ran the data. In 2023, they tested 23 drivers with stock shafts against the same heads with premium Upcharge shafts. The test pool included amateurs from 8 handicap to 22. The result, average difference in total distance, 0.7 yards, 1 yard. For $200, you bought the distance of half a shoe length. The dispersion difference was even smaller, 0.4 yards left or right. You cannot feel 0.4 yards. Your scorecard cannot measure it. Here is what nobody notices when they slide the credit card terminal toward you. The fitting bay is calibrated. The launch monitor is set to a specific algorithm that values certain metrics higher. The salesperson earns commission on the total ticket, not the fitting accuracy. A Consumer Reports investigation into golf retail pricing found that the average markup on premium shafts at big box fitting centers is 347%. The same shaft, bought online and installed by a local club fitter, runs $60 to $80 less. Same manufacturer, same flex, same torque rating, same shaft. The mechanism is beautiful in its hideousness. The club manufacturer gives the retailer a stock shaft for $35. The retailer offers a list of 30 upgrade shafts. Each one has a different price point, a different color, a different story. You do not know which one fits your swing. The salesperson runs the numbers. The screen lights up with recommendations. You are not comparing shafts. You are comparing margins. The shop's highest margin items are the ones that appear first on the fitting cart. And guess which shafts have the highest margin. The silence in the room is the sound of a system working exactly as designed. Golf WRX forums have a thread that has run for 7 years. It is 1,000 pages long. The title, How much did the Upcharge actually cost? The aggregate data from users who posted their itemized receipts shows something unsettling. For every dollar the manufacturer pays for an upgrade shaft, the average retail upcharge is $9.40. A $50 shaft becomes a $470 line item. The industry defends this as custom fitting expertise, but the SEC filing from one major retailer shows that fitting services account for less than 2% of their cost of goods sold. You are not paying for expertise. You are paying for a 30-second screen scroll and a cartridge swap. You are now deep enough in this system to feel the floor shift beneath you. This isn't a one-off bad experience, it's a structural leak in your wallet. If you've made it this far, you care about finding the other leaks too. Subscribe to join the crew that reads the fine print before they swipe. And in the comments, drop the word algorithm, because that's exactly what the fitting cart screen is running, and it's not swinging your clubs. Reddit RI Golf has a pinned post from a former big box fitter. He broke rank. He explained the system. The fitting algorithm is designed to flag your swing as high torque or variable release on 83% of amateurs. That flag triggers a recommendation for a premium shaft regardless of your actual swing characteristics. The same swing, run through a neutral algorithm, would recommend a mid-range graphite shaft every time. The system is built to create problems only premium shafts can solve. If you have ever stood at the fitting cart with your credit card out, feeling that flutter of hope that this time, this shaft, this investment will fix the slice you have carried like a caddy for a decade, you know the exact emotion I am describing. It is not excitement, it is relief. You want to believe the problem has a price tag, you want to write a check and watch the ball fly straight. The system knows this. It is engineered into every fitting bay, every launch monitor, every phrase the salesperson learned in training. Here is a number that should stick in your head. The National Golf Foundation tracks equipment spending across 18,000 recreational golfers. They found that players who upgraded their driver shaft annually spent an average of $840 more per year than golfers who upgraded every 3 years. The handicap change between the two groups over 5 years. 0, not 0.1. 0. The annual upgrade group spent $4,200 extra across a typical membership cycle and gained exactly nothing measurable. The person who wrote those NGF surveys sat in a conference room with executives from the big 3 shaft manufacturers. The data was presented. The response was not to adjust pricing. It was to introduce a new pricing tier, Ultra Premium. The Ultra Premium tier carries margins that make the Premium tier look like a loss leader. $500, $600, $800 for a shaft that still costs less than $50 to manufacture. The system does not respond to evidence, it responds to revenue. Pause here. Drop a comment if you have ever opened a set of clubs and felt that quiet pinch in your chest when you realized the hopes you bought did not match the results. That pinch is not your fault. You were set up to feel it. Let me take you deeper into the pricing chain. The shaft you bought for $200 above stock, the one with the sleek matte finish and the Tour logo and the promise of consistency, comes from a factory in Tijuana, Mexico. Mitsubishi Chemical opened a dedicated graphite shaft plant there in 2019. The plant produces shafts for every major brand. The same layup machine, the same resin, the same curing oven produces the stock shaft that costs the manufacturer $28 and the premium shaft that costs $41. The difference is the label wrapped around the painted surface. The factory worker does not know which shafts will sell for $200 and which will sell for $600. The machine makes them identical. The trade publication, Golf Datatech, publishes wholesale pricing data for the equipment industry. The 2023 report on graphite shafts shows that the average wholesale price of a custom upgrade shaft is $62. The average retail price at big box fitting centers is $299. That is a 382% margin. For context, the gross margin on organic produce at a grocery store is 42%. The margin on graphite shafts is 8 times that. The system works because each layer looks reasonable in isolation. The salesperson tells you it is a $200 upgrade. The line item on your receipt says, shaft upgrade $199.99. Your brain processes that as an add-on, not a separate purchase. You would never walk into a pro shop and buy a standalone graphite shaft for $300. But adding $200 to a $400 driver feels like you are getting a bargain. The psychology is called decoy pricing. The stock driver price is the decoy. It makes the upgrade feel rational. You did not buy a shaft. You bought an upgrade to avoid feeling like you settled, and you paid more for the upgrade than the entire club cost 15 years ago. You are standing at the edge of the parking lot, receipt in hand, and the whole system stretches out behind you. One final decision remains, whether to walk away or to start building your own playbook. This is the moment where subscribing matters most. Lock it in now so you get the counter move delivered straight to your feed before the next fitting appointment finds you. In the comments, type decoy if you are ready to stop buying upgrades and start buying the results that actually show up on your scorecard. The Golf Digest Money Game column from June 2022 analyzed the total cost of a single fitted driver across the first year of ownership. The driver with stock shaft, $498 total cost including fitting. The driver with a premium shaft upgrade, $697. The difference in driving accuracy over 12 rounds, 0.2%. The column concluded with a line that should be printed on every fitting card. There is no correlation between shaft price and fairway hit percentage for amateur golfers. If you have ever pulled into the club parking lot 3 months after the fitting, the excitement already worn off, the driver sitting in the trunk with a few sky marks, and you thought about the total number on the receipt and felt a small, cold weight settle at the bottom of your ribs, that is not guilt. That is the data speaking to you through your nervous system. You knew something was wrong. You just did not have the numbers yet. The counter principle is almost too simple. Stock shafts are not punishment. They are the baseline against which every other shaft is compared. And for 90% of recreational golfers, the stock shaft is already matched to the head's intended swing profile. The manufacturer does not put a bad shaft in a hood and sell it for $400. They put a shaft that costs them $28 and performs at 98% of the premium shaft. The 2% you do not get is measurable only on a frequency analyzer in a controlled environment. On the course, swinging at varying speeds with muscle fatigue and weather conditions, the gap disappears. The smartest move is the one that feels wrong. Walk into the fitting bay, hit the stock driver, write down the numbers, then hit the premium shaft. Do not look at the price tag during the test. Hit both for 20 balls each, randomized, with the salesperson not telling you which is which. Then compare the average numbers. If you see a 1 yard difference, you have your answer. The 1 yard difference costs $200. The fairway you hit 10 yards right of center will not be saved by that shaft. Your swing path is the variable. The shaft is the constant.